Lack. Lack. The emotion when money is the focus. Are you focused on money or the lack of money? Let's talk about it. Welcome to Financial Therapy Challenge. This is the podcast, live podcast, and also recorded podcast where we talk about a little bit about a lot of different things, but we talk a lot about financial therapy. I am your host, Kene Quarter, National Certified Counselor specializing in financial therapy. I help private practice business owners add financial therapy to their existing approach. Now, I'm wondering, and I'm going to ask you again, are you focused on money or the lack of money? And in this episode, I'm going to tell you why you are focused on lack. And you might have said, wait, I answered money. I didn't answer the lack of money. Well, actually, if you're focused on money, then it's 99% sure you are focused on the lack of it. Because if you continue to look for the number that you want, let's say that number is $10 million. If you don't have it, your brain is going to immediately revert to we're not there yet. And what you do on a daily basis is going to be to fill the void of not being there. So then your focus is on money. Now, right there, I just wrapped it all up for you so you could either stop listening right now and go do something different, or you continue to listen so I can tell you more about why you do this, a couple of mistakes you're making, and a little tip, and then what you should do next. So, number one reason why you're focused on lack, or why lack is top of mind for you, is because society has programmed you to look outside of yourself. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean a couple things. One, we grew up in a society where you're rewarded for being the first, the fastest, the best, so to speak. And those things are graded. So you are giving yourself a grade. If I haven't hit my $1 million yet, if I haven't hit my six figures yet, if I haven't hit my multi-millions, whatever, billion, whatever your goal is, right? If you haven't hit that yet, then you're seeing yourself as not good enough yet. Once I do it, then I will be good enough. But then what happens? You just see another number, because once you hit it, then you're like, oh, okay, so what's next? That was then, this is now. What am I supposed to do? So we live in a society where we are graded, where we are pushed to do the next thing, the next greatest thing. So a lot of times people, oh, well, what next? Or what next? What are you going to go after next? Now that you've done this, they're asking a team that just won the championship or whatever, what's next? It's like, what's next is to enjoy this right here. This feels freaking good. And I want to stay in this moment. Don't take me out of it. So you live in a society where the focus is what's next. The focus is on grading yourself or being graded. The focus is on, have you ever worked anywhere where every month it was like a start over period and you had to like get on the leaderboard or get measured or evaluated in some way every single month? Freaking sucks. I hated working like that. And it's not something we do in my business. We do look at the numbers monthly, but that is not how we are graded. And whether or not we make those numbers is important. Now, let me tell you, I'm saying this to you. I put these systems in place because of my own lack emotions. Because if I don't reach something, I'm an overachiever. I am a high achiever. Let's say that, not necessarily overachiever. I am a high achiever, and achieving is very important to me. So when I set a target, I have to hit it. And because failure is an option, I know they say failure is not an option. Failure is an option. I sometimes choose that option. You know what? That didn't work out. moving right along. Let me go over here and do this thing because I have another good idea. I don't care if I fail at that other thing because I'm going to have another good idea anyway. And I could just do better at that one. So that's different than what I said society does, but that's what I do to myself. So society did its thing, and then I did something to myself. And you have to check in with yourself to see what, based on what society instilled in you, what you have instilled in yourself. Because when you are grading, measuring, evaluating, rating yourself to by a number that you haven't reached yet, then your focus is on the lack of. And a lot of times that number is a dollar amount. So the second reason is because you don't know your own idea of prosperity. So I said the first reason is that society is grading you, right? And saying, oh, you need to be first, you need to have the highest, you need to be the best, blah, blah, blah. This person did better than you. Oh, we're starting all over. It's a new month and we're starting out over. See if you can be the best. Oh, not this time. Not this time. Not the employee of the month. Oh, well, you're not good enough. So you be involved in that for a while, and then you just get stuck in that, and those measurements, their measurements, become your measurements. But you have to decide what your measurements are. And when I say that, I mean take that lightly, because obviously I just said not to focus on the number and measure yourself by a dollar amount. Because as you heard me say before, you are not a dollar amount. You are not your bank account. You are so much more than that, and no amount of money can match your value, match your worth. So never say, oh, I have to make this amount of money to be worthy, because I can tell you that many, and when I say many, I have said really should be saying most of my financial therapy clients have more revenue than I do in my business, have more income in their personal lives than I do in my personal life. A lot of them are multimillionaires. And so if we were judging this by who had the most money, technically they should be my therapist. But we're not judging this by who has the most money, because financial therapy is not about whether you have or don't have money. It is about reconciling your emotions around money. And for many of the people who come to me, they haven't done that yet because they are still stuck on a societal version of their idea of prosperity. So their idea of prosperity is society's idea of prosperity. They said you have to get a good job. Maybe they were like, okay, forget the job. I'm going to start my business. Okay, but their business turned into a job, and then they lost time, and they got married and they had kids because that's what society told them to do, and they got the dog and they got the house, but now they feel stuck and settled. Because really, does anybody really want to be settled down? So what is your idea of prosperity? I just recently discovered that so I don't know if you know, if you've been following me, you know I took a sabbatical, and we traveled for like 6 months, and during that 6 months we went so many places, like 10 places in the United States, and we went like 6 places or something like that outside of the country. Portugal, we went 3 places in France, we went 2 places in Thailand. So what is that? Yeah, 6. Okay, so we went 6 places out of the country, and then 10 places in the US. And that is my idea of prosperity. But quite honestly, the way that we did it, we were not prepared. We learned a lot along the way. And because a lot of it was learning, it wasn't as enjoyable. So I sat down with Jason and I was like, I have to do it again. I have to try it again. That was, to me, was like a first time experience, but I need that to be part of my life. For some of the months out of the year, I just need to be moving around. And you guys can come and visit me wherever I am. That means family, friends, clients. You can come do a retreat wherever I am, but I have to move around some. Like being stuck in one house, it is miserable for me. And so you have to figure that out for yourself. What is your idea of prosperity? Now, I get on here and I give you guys so much information. And sometimes I feel like I'm overwhelming you. And I am sorry if I am doing that, because I know so much. And I know you do too. And I am working to counter what society has poured into you. And because of that, I get preachy, and I continue to tell you like what you need to do. And sometimes that means that you and I are not on the same page. I'm too far ahead of you, or I've given you so much information that you're clogged. So do not let me do that. But if that's happening, then watch this video, listen to this podcast more than once. There's a novel idea. I know, go back and do something I already did. No, I'm in the future. Can I? I'm out of here. I'm moving. I get it. I do it myself. But I'm telling you that if I'm dropping seeds, or if it's too much information, or if you're irritated by me right now, even though I'm right, then you need to listen to this again. All right, I said that. Now let's go on to number 3. So the third one is you're focused on the how, which is making you work too hard. I am a genius at how. If you come into my community and you tell me what you want, I can tell you exactly how you can get there. I'm a genius at how. But when it's my own how, oh my gosh, I can get so caught up in the hard work of it that the what goes away, and I'm no longer focused on the what. And so I have to put systems in place so that I can stay focused on the what and let the universe do the how. Now, when you come to my community and you ask the question, like, here's what I want to do, I don't know how. And then I give you the step by step version of for your specific situation. If I'm like, okay, here, do this, do this, do this, put this in place. This is, you need this, you need that. And here are the pieces. And then I want you to hand that over to the universe and let the universe do that. So actually, that is what I'm working on right now, is to redo that for myself. Like, I know the what, get really clear on the what. I would say strategize on the how, and then hand it over to the universe, and don't get too stuck on it. You might have heard me tell the story over and over again about wanting to be a grandmother, and I had zero plans on how it was going to happen. In fact, I thought it wasn't going to happen. I had just really like given up on it. Like, oh, well, I don't know. I'll figure it out, I guess, along the way. But I put zero effort into it. I just put the what out there, and I was like, this is what I want. Now, it took, I think I had that feeling when I was like 12, and then again, maybe at 15, and then again at 18. But it wasn't until I was 42, I think, or something like that, that I actually became a grandmother. And I didn't put any effort into the how. I just put effort into the what. But it came to life, but it wasn't even until like 2 or 3 years ago that I realized, oh shoot, I got it. I got exactly what I wanted at 12 and 15 and 18. A thing that I said, but that's a long time. And I don't like to wait a long time. So sometimes my focus goes on, what can I do to speed it up? What can I do to get it right? Because we talked about a fear emotions before, and I'll talk about it again. But fear emotions, making a fear of making a mistake, that was a big one of mine. I hated making mistakes. It felt crappy, and I just don't like mistakes. So, and I'm not a perfectionist, but I don't like making mistakes. It's hard to explain. I'll explain it later, but I think you might know what I mean. So if your focus is on the how, you're probably working too hard, which then makes you focus that you worked so hard and you're still not there. You see some of the mistakes we make when money is the focus, and specifically the lack of money is the focus. Well, there's some solutions, there's some things you can do. And one thing that I would recommend that you do would be to shift the focus. So, what's one number you could focus on that's not a dollar amount? Think about that while I grab my water. What is one number you could focus on that is not a dollar amount? If you want, you can put that in the comments. If you're listening to this recording or on the podcast, you know what you could do? You could join the community and tell me. But before you do that, I just want to ask my live listeners, tell me in the comments, are you heavily focused on the dollar amount? Yes or no? Are you heavily focused on the dollar amount? Just say yes if you are, no if you're not. I know some of you might say no. I don't believe you, but speak your truth, say, as a financial therapist, I know that that's rarely the case, especially if you're listening to someone like me or searching for things like financial therapy, then I know that you are focused on the dollar amount. So let's give you something else you can shift to. So here's your field work. Shift your focus to a different number. You pick the number, you decide on the number, just don't let it be a dollar amount. So shift the focus to a different number. You decide on the number. I can tell you that I focus on the number of members I want in my membership. That's what I focus on. But if you are confused about how to find that number that you could focus on, if you join my community, I can tell you what specific number that's right for you, that you should be focusing on. Because I don't want you to go back and I don't want you to do what society says. I don't want you to focus on somebody else's number, like a colleague or someone who you just see and you like them. No, your own number. You need to focus on your own number. And I can help you with that, but only if you're in the community. So in the community, you can ask me any question live every Tuesday. Right now it's on Tuesday. Every Tuesday I go live and you can ask me questions. So if you're wondering how to do that, there is a link in the description of this video. Go ahead and click it. And if you're listening to this as a podcast, then it's in the show notes. So join me live, and you can do that at www.presidentiallifestyle.com. Yes, be sure to put the www in there, or simply just click the link. Makes it really, really easy. And when you do that, what happens is you get access to free financial therapy tips, tools, resources, examples. I can answer your questions again, but I want you to understand that when I say free, I mean that we were giving it away for free, like totally free. You will never have to pay for it for the month of April, because it's financial literacy month, but also because we were building the community. So one or the other, either we're going to get to 100 members and then we're going to stop the free and turn it on to paid, but you'll still get a free trial, or we're going to wait to April 30th. So you might as well jump in now, because why would you wait? I'm telling you, it is totally free. I'm sorry. It is totally worth it at the normal price. So if you don't catch it while it's free, no worries, because you're going to pay a tiny little bit per month for a lot of access to me. You get access to me once a week, and I go pretty deep, and I do self-sync financial therapy for you to clear some of the things, the blocks in the way. Some of it we do talk some, but I make sure we're also doing the self-sync and you're clearing. And also you have access to some recordings. So all this is available in the community. And I say, go now and get it. And whether it's free or not, you will get incredible value. So that's my commercial. That's all I have to say about that. But just know that you and we have so much work to do together. And I know that we can, because there are a couple of financial therapy principles that I want to share with you. We do discussions every week, kind of like I'm bringing this up, like these lack emotions and what are you focusing on? Well, in the community, we talk more about that. And then you can ask me any question you want. And I like to talk about money mastery, emotional mastery, and business strategies. Now, that's what I feel like financial therapy for business success is. And when you get there, you can decide for yourself and you can tell me what you're learning. Hey, I classify this as this? And that'll help me explain to other people what it is, because I can tell you that I am not the best at explaining what this community is, because I am just being myself. And if you ask me to explain who I am, that would take so long. And who has time for that? I'm saying it's free. Jump in, check it out. You will get value. And I said that was all I was going to say about that. So for real, that is all I'm going to say about that. All right, I'm done. And I'm actually done. That's all. That's all for today. We're going to continue to talk about lack emotions for the next couple days. So come back tomorrow, join the community now. And if you want to hire me to speak at your conference or your event, you can go to www.presidentiallifestyle.com/hire-Kene. That link is not in the description. But if you go to presidentiallifestyle.com, there is a tab that says Hire Kene. You can just click on that tab and it will take you to a form that you can fill out if you do want to hire me to speak, because financial therapy is a growing field. Not a lot of people are doing it, but this conversation is much needed. And I specifically like to focus on business owners, service-based business owners, pretty specifically, because we have a unique version of emotions around money and the lack of it, or the loneliness we feel and the fear that we feel in business, because a lot of our business is associated with who we are and what we do, and even what we have. So if that is you, then the community will be a great place for you. But also coming back to watch these videos and listen to these podcast episodes would be great for you. Consume as much as you want. Take all of it, because it's all here for you. That is why I created it. And if you want more, let me know what else you need, and I'll see if I can create it for you. In the meantime, keep your eye on the right number. All right. Shift away from the money number and shift to a different number. Tell me what number that is. I really want to know. And I'll see you sooner.